Greetings and welcome to the Dr. J Vlog series. It is Saturday, October 18th, 2025, and on Saturdays we've been talking about sports and humor. And I've uploaded now over 300 videos to the Dr. J Experience YouTube channel, including 288 just for the Dr. J Vlog series. As we say in Canada, not bad, eh? And I've been posting daily now for almost 300 days in a row. We're up to almost 400 subscribers. Look out, Mr. Beast, here I come. Not bad, eh? At the same time, I'm a realist, and I'm a scientist, and I teach statistics, among other things, at our local university. And I've done the math on this, and so the most popular uploads have been, generally speaking, some of the music videos that I've done, reaction videos, as well as some of my live performances, by far. As for the Dr. J vlog series, the most watched vlog was the very first one that I did with just over 400 views. Since then, what's happened? Well, over the full span of 288 vlogs thus far, I'm averaging about 44 to 45 views per vlog. Only 5 have exceeded 300 views, 4 of which are part of the Tuesday Music and the Arts series. And if you include a popular artist in your description, or a couple of them, then you're definitely more likely to pick up dozens or possibly even hundreds more views because it'll show up in someone else's algorithm. But statistical sleuth that I am, I've discovered a distinct pattern. So my viewership has actually been declining over time, especially if you break down views by, say, 5-week periods. So for each of the first 5-week periods, when I started the Dr. J Vlog series back in 1st of January this year, or just think about the first 20 weeks overall, if you will, I was averaging about 68 views per vlog with a median of 48. And since then, covering the last 21 weeks, my average has declined to only about 23 views per vlog with a median of 17. So in other words, if I were to use a stock market analogy, the value of the Dr. J Vlog series stock has declined by almost exactly 2/3 from the first half to the second half. In other words, despite having almost 400 subscribers now, the viewership of my daily vlogs is down about 67% in the second half of my experiment with vlogging. I'm just not generating enough buzz with my content, I suppose. And it takes me about an hour at a minimum each day to do each vlog, from the writing to the recording to the uploading, etc. Usually closer to about 2 hours, sometimes more. And my ROI, return on investment, has only declined. So it still takes me, again, at least an hour to 2 hours per vlog, but I'm only getting about 24 viewers on average per vlog these days. So I have a decision to make. There are many possibilities, to be sure, ranging from shutting down the vlog series entirely to flooding the zone with more content, or shifting to maybe a different format like an interview style format. But to do that would require much greater investment, much longer to produce, and so on. So I'm thinking of 2 main options then, among others. But option 1 would be change the focus and the content. The most popular options would be to do things like turn this into a porn website. Those seem to be doing very well. Or a get-rich-quick site. Or do children's content, sort of at the other end of the spectrum. Or do sports analysis and gambling. Or how-to videos. Or just music videos and reaction videos. Or perhaps I could strike a deal with Taylor Swift and just do exclusively Tay-Tay content. She has over 62 million subscribers herself, so I'm sure she wouldn't mind supplementing that with some complimentary channels, shall we say. Actually, wait, that's already been done. In fact, in spades. From reaction and video breakdown channels to merch and lifestyle and so much more. So there are actual Swiftologists out there raking in a fortune. And then there's the whole sphere of political commentary, but especially those driven by right-wing extremism, and then to a much smaller degree, within that ecosphere, there's the left-wing commentators. So there are a few influential left-wing commentators like Brian Tyler Cohen, BTC, David Pakman, the Young Turks. You may have heard of some of these. But a study by Wired last year revealed that it's the right-wing bloggers who are dominating that sphere, right? So think of the scope of Joe Rogan's podcast, for example, or think of people, again, there's so many, Dave Rubin, Nick Fuentes, the late Charlie Kirk, or Megyn Kelly, Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, Dennis Prager, PragerU, Tucker Carlson, Steven Crowder, and so many others. And I'm an older white male and raised in a Christian tradition for that matter. So I'd probably do well just starting another maybe white Christian nationalist YouTube channel or some kind, or take out the religion and just focus on white nationalism. And I could focus my message then to attract disaffected white males, younger males, all the white women who supported Trump because he and the Republicans are strong men and they're out there to protect them and so on. I have no doubt that I could probably generate quite a following in that regard. If I could just get in line with the right-wing extremists out there and then demonize anyone and everything that doesn't align with my worldview, I'm confident that I could attract a strong following. I could even leverage some of my educational credentials to my advantage and argue that my careful research as a social scientist has led me to conclude that MAGA is the solution, for example. So can you imagine how popular I'd be if I just went down that pathway? Of course, I'd be then demonized by the far left too, so I'm not sure how I'd fare in the long run, but in any event, I'll tell you what, hate definitely has a market. It sells, and it doesn't, and not just on the right for that matter, right? But certainly on the extreme left as well. It's just that there are a lot more opportunities these days to market right-wing extremism and hatred in the current environment. But then I'd probably have to give up my day job. So that brings me to solution number 2. Cutting back and cutting out the stuff that's not resonating to produce a much more focused set of vlogs on a narrower set of issues. So as of today, we're going to be shifting to phase 2 of the experiment, the Dr. J Vlog series. That is, I'm not going to sell out. I'm not going to do a Taylor Swift channel or a political channel or a get-rich-quick channel or anything like that. Instead, I'm just going to focus on what I do best, or what I know best and what I do best, in essence. So that means consolidating my daily vlogging in the 7 different themes that I've been developing, and then I'm just going to focus mainly on my top 3 plus 1. I'll explain. So moving forward then, I'll just be doing 3 vlogs regularly each week. Each will deal with just the specific knowledge bases where I like to think I might have some insights and some helpful ideas and some interesting content to share. And so without further ado, here's the new plan. So Sundays are still going to be devoted to the purpose and meaning of life. Not because I'm the greatest expert in the world on these issues or some great sage, but just essentially based on my several decades of both research and the reading and experience that I've had. So I've been asking, maybe you have too, I've been asking the why questions my entire life, and I've purposefully and intentionally read literally thousands of books and articles broadly related to the life's big questions, shall we say. And I think I have some helpful things to say in that regard. I don't have the answers per se, and capital A or capital T truth, and I can't pretend to be some kind of great revolutionary thinker because I'm not. But what I do have is a deep familiarity and I think understanding of the issues. So think of somebody analogously who's studied and played piano, say, for the last 50 to 60 years of their life. But they haven't necessarily always created their own music, or they haven't been such a master, such a virtuoso, as to ascend to the top of the performance pyramid. Instead, the person's just deeply knowledgeable and understands the piano better than most, even if they're not, again, one of the elite or groundbreaking artists. And that's kind of me with respect to the purpose and meaning of life. I don't have, as I say, all the answers. I'm not some great revolutionary thinker and so on. But I'm deeply familiar with the different issues, the different perspectives, how to evaluate different ideas, what's important to consider. And I think my true strength or gift seems to be along the lines of teaching and sharing. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. There's no cult of Dr. J to join, no promise of a cure all for all your troubles, no grand scheme or single idea that anyone and everyone must follow or adhere to, nothing like that. I think just thoughtful consideration and reflection on the big questions. Okay, so and then the second focus is on scientific literacy. That's what I'm going to be calling it. And so I'm going to combine my deep commitment to scientific thinking and analysis and apply that to a range of different topics, focusing on kind of state-of-the-art knowledge in science in the broadest sense of that term. So I'm going to tackle the big knowledge questions within science, and I hope responsibly by sticking very closely to the best of what science has to offer, the latest research, the most rigorous research, and focus on the strengths and the limitations of what we know and what we can possibly know from a scientific perspective. And again, it's not any kind of a cult in that sense. It's not a science cult. I'll try to be as clear as possible in recognizing the limits of scientific knowledge, where there's debate and uncertainty, and with a humble recognition that we're always limited in our knowledge. We can always be wrong, and we often are. And sometimes we're quite wrong, but there's always the chance then to correct our mistakes and improve our understanding, especially if science is done well and done properly. So most important, though, I want to stress the critical thinking skills to help us be better consumers of knowledge, scientific and otherwise, even though most of us are not involved in the production side of the equation. So hence the broad focus then on the theme of scientific literacy and logic and so on. And then finally, my third focus will be on human behavior. That's my true specialty, the broadest area of expertise that I have. Again, by no means am I some great intellect or sage, but it's where I have, it's where I've acquired my actual PhD and a second PhD, or close to, or what's known as an ABD, since I didn't write the second dissertation once I had a full-time job secured. But yeah, I've got a lot of deep familiarity and study and commitment to the study of human behavior. And so that's where I'll be reporting then on some of my own work and the broader work, the studies, the expertise that we have as social scientists with respect to all different kinds of human behavior. And then I'll often be providing important links to the studies that I've described, and by the way, in the scientific literacy vlogs as well, so you can look up the research yourselves. So there's no shortage then of great, high-quality research out there dealing with the human condition and science in general, right? So that's where I hope to be especially enlightening, at least based on my lifetime of work and my ongoing work in these areas. Okay, and then finally I mentioned 3+1. The extra one will be occasional commentaries on music and popular culture. I'm no expert. It's just based on my love of music, the fact that I do produce my own music. I've created a lot of my own. So from sharing some of my own music to analysis videos, I love doing those, including the one I did breaking down, for example, even the Weeknd's Super Bowl halftime performance from last February. So check that out if you haven't seen it. But to a range of different topical subjects. Again, I'll not be doing these regularly or weekly per se, but rather only occasionally. And when I feel like I have something interesting to say on a particular subject matter, especially if it's controversial. Again, not that I know the answer, that I'm right, but it just, I hopefully I can shed some light or offer some interesting insights from my perspective. So that's the plan. Sundays are going to be devoted to the purpose and meaning of life. Wednesdays will be devoted to scientific literacy, again, broadly defined. And Fridays are going to focus on the study of human behavior. So each week, 3 vlogs, 1 devoted to each of these topics. And then the occasional, dare I say, random video or vlog on some aspect of music and popular culture. We'll see what happens. All right. In the meantime, as ever, may you and yours continue to create peace in your lives, nurture love in your hearts, and dole out hugs in abundance. Peace.